Hola amigos y amigas, you are now with Jocelyn y como siempre, I'm so grateful you are here. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. You already know all the goodness we're about to get into in this video, and if you are new here, welcome as well. If you enjoy lifestyle, spirituality, self-development, journaling, all of that good stuff, then make sure to click subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my weekly videos and you join in on this beautiful growing community. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you and guiding you through 8 journaling prompts directly inspired by the energetic themes surrounding this upcoming Scorpio Lunar Eclipse, which is a Scorpio full moon taking place on May 5th, 2023. This Scorpio full moon, this Scorpio lunar eclipse may have had you increasingly reflecting on whether or not you're investing your time and energy wisely. If you are directing your energy towards the things, people, places, and things that you should be directing them towards, or if you are directing your energy towards people, places, and things that actually aren't deserving and worthy of your energy, and you're just like wasting that energy that could be redirected towards something that's more replenishing, that's more in alignment with your higher self, with your soul's purpose and mission in this lifetime. So this is a very contemplative Scorpio lunar eclipse that is encouraging us to be mindful of where it is that we're directing our energy, to be mindful and clear about how it is that we want to be moving forward in these new energetic cycles that we are opening ourselves up to receive. I am affirming that for all of us. And it's a moon, it's a eclipse that is really encouraging us to like really just not just step into our power, but really live in it, really firmly plant ourselves and root ourselves in our power, and be courageous in letting go of the people, places, and things that are holding us back from living in our power. So we're going to get into all of that more as we dive into these prompts. So without further ado, let's get into these 8 journaling prompts. What affirmations do I feel the need to hear right now? I felt inspired to start this journaling session with us taking a moment to check in with ourselves and our spirits and our hearts and how we're feeling in this moment, and asking ourselves what affirmations we feel the need to hear right now. What affirmations would just feel really good to hear in this moment, to receive in this moment? What affirmations would make us feel reassured in this season under this Scorpio lunar eclipse? So what are those affirmations for you that will make you feel calm, reassured, grounded, refocused, and centered in the ultimate truth? What uncomfortable truths am I feeling the need to confront? So Scorpio energy is definitely the energy of getting comfortable in the uncomfortable, in coming face to face with the shadows, in exploring the darkness. Scorpio energy is the energy of knowing and being consciously aware that there's so much light work and shadow work. And that shadow work is an integral part of the healing journey, the awakening journey, and the ascension journey. So all that said, You may have found yourself, as we progress into the Scorpio lunar eclipse, realizing that there are certain truths that you may have been avoiding because it brings forth discomfort for you, because it triggers some fears. How is my life going to change if I confront this truth, if I acknowledge this truth? You may have also found yourself that in avoiding these uncomfortable truths, it's been bringing forth greater disturbance. It's been creating blockages in some way, shape, or form in your life and in your flow. So now is the time to no longer be running away, to no longer be turning a blind eye to these uncomfortable truths that you may have been feeling the need to confront. So what are those truths? What are those truths that you know you need to confront? And I encourage you to embrace this awakened Scorpio energy and step into the shadow work and get comfortable in the uncomfortable with bravery, with courage, and again, with the conscious awareness that it is only in no longer running away that you can actually bring forth resolve, that you can actually bring forth greater comfort, that you can actually move forward in your life in the way that you deeply desire and deserve. So it's no more running away energy over here. It's standing tall and prioritizing the truth above all. Which self-imposed limitations am I actively liberating myself from? So in the last prompt, we're liberating ourselves from avoidance, right? From avoiding uncomfortable truths that we've progressively come to know and feel we need to acknowledge. Now, you may have also found yourself becoming progressively aware of some of the ways you've been imposing limitations upon yourself, mentally, physically, spiritually, internally, externally. I want us to continue to really intentionally embrace this energy of self-liberation, knowing that we have the power to liberate ourselves in so many ways. One of them being acknowledging truths that we know we need to acknowledge and confront and not avoid, right? Prioritizing the truth above all. Because it is true that the truth sets you free. And two, liberating ourselves actively, right? It is a practice to liberate ourselves from self-imposed limitations, from beliefs that are limiting. That is another way, a really, really huge way that we liberate ourselves is taking these moments to reflect on and contemplate, what are some of the ways that I have been limiting myself? What are some limiting beliefs that I have been continuing to subscribe to that just make no sense to who I am and who I am becoming now? So we are taking this very important moment now together to journal which of the self-imposing limitations we have been and we are actively liberating ourselves from. What are some of the limiting beliefs that you are affirming and declaring and may have already been practicing liberating yourself from? What are some self-imposed limitations that you are going to and you may already be practicing liberating yourself from? This is so important. If you have any questions about this actually would be a really great podcast conversation. But let's talk about it more in the comments if you feel inspired, because it really is so important that we acknowledge the truth that we do have the power to liberate ourselves from limiting beliefs and patterns and cycles and habits. So let's do so under this Scorpio Lunar Eclipse. What judgments towards myself and my life am I discontinuing? What judgments towards yourself and your life are you no longer subscribing to? Are you declaring that you're no longer going to continue? And yes, if this is a deeply integrated thought pattern and judgment that you have been telling yourself for many, many years, it's going to be a practice in silencing that voice and that judgment. But these are the necessary first steps, these acknowledgements, these coming face to face with the truths, right? These judgments, this prompt is actually a great example of an uncomfortable truth that we may have been avoiding, right? The ways in which we judge ourselves and our lives. And I do want us to take a moment to reflect on the ways in which we may have been judging ourselves unknowingly, not really fully realizing like, wow, I can be low-key really mean to myself, the way that I speak to myself mentally. And sometimes people actually, I've noticed, like, will say it out loud. This judgmental voice will actually vocally express itself without people really knowing and being fully aware that they just express something outwardly towards themselves that's not so kind. So, what are some judgments that you have been directing towards yourself in your life that you just no longer desire to continue, that you just are no longer going to subscribe to anymore because you don't need that? You don't need to be judging yourself, right? Like, our external environments can already be judgmental in and of itself. The last thing we need in our lives is for us to be judgmental towards our own selves. This is expanding and deepening greater self-compassion and self-care and self-understanding and self-grace season, right? We are ascending to higher vibrational frequencies of being so compassionate and graceful and loving and kind toward ourselves, especially in the seasons that can feel tough and challenging and difficult. So, my friends, what are some judgments towards yourself and your life that you are discontinuing? What am I ready and eager to no longer direct my energy towards? As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is really the energy that the Scorpio lunar eclipse is giving. Is like, let me really call back and reclaim my energy and redirect it more wisely. Be more intentional with my energy and where it is that I'm directing it towards. And step one is really gaining clarity as to where it is that we need to call our energy back from, and where it is that we no longer desire to direct our energy towards. So the previous prompts that I've shared with you, if you've journaled one or more of them, all of those have gifted you greater clarity as to where to redirect your energy and the ways in which you can invest your energy more wisely, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So in all, right, pull some inspiration from the things you may have already journaled and expand on this a bit more in the ways that you desire, in the ways in which we may have already not touched on yet. Where and how and what are you ready and eager to no longer direct your energy towards? What are you ready and eager to no longer direct your energy towards? This is an affirmational journaling prompt here, right? We are claiming that we're ready and we're claiming that we're eager to no longer direct our energy towards these people, places, and things. And if you feel so inspired to expand on this even more, you can take those extra moments to journal, to contemplate and journal, like, I'm no longer directing my energy towards over here. And instead, you can expand by also journaling, like, I'm not going to direct it over here. I'm going to redirect it over there. If you feel so inspired. If not, though, simply allowing yourself to become aware of where it is that you no longer want to direct it, where it is that you no longer desire or deserve to direct it. That is so powerful in and of itself. In what new ways am I working with my courageous heart? So we're going to step into a bit of light work here. And we're going to get comfortable in the remainder of these prompts and just feel really, really good. So whether or not you resonate with these prompts that I'm sharing with you, like for example, this one, if you feel like, I haven't been working with my courageous heart in new ways, which really take a moment to check in with yourself if that's really true, because I really do feel like all of us have been working with our heart in new, courageous, and brave ways that we haven't before. But if you sincerely feel like you don't resonate with this, use this as an affirmative prompt. Use this as an opportunity to be able to relate to this and declare moving forward, from this Scorpio Lunar Eclipse, I am going to be working with my courageous heart in these new ways. So, what have these new ways that you've been working with your heart, with your courageous heart, what have they been? What have they looked like? What have they felt like? What have they brought forth for you in working with your heart in this way? Have there been any changes that you care to journal about and really take note of? Shout out to our hearts, but I know that courage is a big theme that is coming up for so many of us, but more so like heart-centered courage, right? Not fear-centered courage or ego-centered courage. It's heart-centered, it's passion-centered, it's worthiness-centered. It's like, I'm going after the life I deserve kind of courage. I'm speaking up for myself in ways that I deserve to speak up for myself and my needs and my desires kinds of courage, right? I am propelling myself towards this new direction kind of courage. I'm no longer dismissing what I feel passionate about kind of courage. I'm prioritizing the truth now, the truth of who I am and who I desire to be courage. I don't deserve this anymore. I've never deserved this actually. And I'm going to be courageous in being there for myself in ways that I haven't before kind of courage. So I can go on, but I know that we have all been working with our heart in new ways. And I love that for us. How would I describe what living in my power looks and feels like? You may have already found yourself in working with your heart in new ways, in confronting uncomfortable truths, in releasing certain judgments and practicing non-judgment. In so many ways, you may have already noticed that you've begun to live in your power. You've begun to step into your power. You've begun to reclaim your power. What has that looked and felt like for you? And if you feel like you haven't really lived in your power at all, which again, I find that to just not be true, because even you just being here and taking the time to journal and like really soak up these cosmic energies and take this precious time to invest in yourself and gain clarity and like this action that you're taking in and of itself and watching this video and journaling, like that is you living in your power, honestly. But anyways, I encourage all of us to journal this prompt and get specific and as detailed as possible as to what living in our power looks and feels like. What does that look like for you? What does that feel like for you to live in your power? And this can even be a meditative prompt, taking a moment to like just meditate on envisioning yourself living in your power. What comes up for you when you envision that? Journal that. Write it down. Be as detailed and specific as possible. In what ways am I acting like my higher self? In what ways are you already acting like your higher self? In what ways, moving forward, will you be acting like your higher self? I really just simply desired for us to bring these journal prompts full circle and to a close with us being in the shoes of our higher selves and reflecting on the ways and journaling the ways in which we already are acting like our higher selves, including investing our time and energy in this way, journaling and contemplating and doing this very healing, awakening work that does contribute to our ascension. So, how have you been acting like your higher self? How will you be acting like your higher self? When you think of the actions of your higher self, what are those actions? How does your higher self act? How does your higher self show up in the world? How does your higher self respond to life? How does your higher self talk to their self? What does your higher self think on a day-to-day basis? What is a part of the routine, the daily routine of your higher self? Just like really, again, kind of expanding on the last prompt, and you can also refer back to all the previous prompts that you chose to journal for inspiration and expanding in this prompt. Because yes, confronting the truth is a way in which you are acting like your higher self. Yes, affirming yourself and checking in with yourself to see what affirmations you feel the need to hear is an action that your higher self takes. Like so many of the things that we've already worked through in these prompts, like very much so is giving higher self energy. So, in what ways are you acting like your higher self? And that, my friends, are the 8 journaling prompts directly inspired by the energetic themes surrounding this Scorpio lunar eclipse taking place on May 5th, 2023. I pray that you loved these prompts, that you resonated and felt moved by at least one of them. And I would love to know which one of the prompts you deeply resonated with and felt moved by in the comment section below. You already know that your girl loves to create and cultivate community in the comments and connecting with you all. So I look forward to speaking with some of you in the comments. And I pray that each and every single one of us just feels so clarified, so so healed, so restored, so liberated from this Scorpio lunar eclipse, because it really is giving liberation energy. It really is giving, I'm gonna be in my power now, right? So I'm really excited for our empowered, liberated selves. And I'm so honored to have been brought into your precious present moment and to be trusted by you in offering you some guidance through your contemplations and reflections and journaling. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.